put that on the back of the t-shirt that we're never going to get made? Precog my hog.
Oh, I thought you meant, well, let me wait for the thing to pop up, because that's also something we say on just about every single podcast.
That's an ism.
Be on your best behavior,
that we're never going to get.
Be on your best behavior, because we are fucking live. That's right. What's up, dark judges, desperados, and dudes in dick-shaped helmets? You're listening to Curse to Earth Radio, the one and only podcast bringing dread to the dreadless.
Broadcasting outside the walls of Mega City 1 across the Black Atlantic in North America. I'm Cool Johnny Cool.
And this is Heavy Metal Kid. And once again, your best friends in the whole wide world are bringing you all the exciting action from this week's Prog. Tell them all about it, Johnny.
This week, we have the new installment of Judge Dredd's Special Relationship. We have the next installment of Brink. We have Skip Tracer, and Dexter, and Jaeger's back.
And, of course, as always, here leading you through the newly canonized, does that count on if we're not the Pope, pilots in the Justice Department?
Oh yeah, we got a magazine to talk about.
Yeah, Heavy Metal Kid. That's
cool,
me.
Johnny Cool. We already talked about that.
Cursed Earth Radio. Hey man, people are pouring into the fucking chat. Welcome,
people
welcome,
are liquid.
Everybody. Very, very excited to see Mac Anorak, one gentleman who we will meet one day, man, when we go over there to the UK and hang
stay
out
at his house for an indeterminate amount of time.
Yeah, man, sleeping on the couch. Hey, man, I'm excited about this week's Prog, and I'm excited about this week's 2000 AD magazine, but we do have some unfortunate news, man. I'm sure everybody that's listening has heard about it, but super significant bummer news to address here at the beginning of our show.
Yeah, unfortunately, we all found out this morning that 2000 AD Titan Alan Grant unfortunately passed away.
Yeah, man. And man, it's kind of weird. It's the same deal that happened with Carlos, for me. It's like some of these names have been in my life for so long, and it's just kind of strange, because it's like you don't ever think of a time when all of a sudden, like, we're not gonna see Alan Grant. I mean, as we go back and read the old stuff, we will, but like, yeah, man, it's just kind of weird that that's a name that's so synonymous for me with 2000 AD comics, as synonymous as Carlos Esquera, as synonymous as John Wagner. Like, I mean, I can't tell you how many Alan Grants we've read in our time of being Dredd fans.
He is on all the big ones. He, co-wrote Judge Child, Block War, Judge Death Lives, The Apocalypse War, City of the Damned. I mean, his credits for Judge Dredd go on and on, but Strontium Dog, Ace Trucking, Robo Hunter, he's been all over. Judge Anderson. He is prolific on Judge Anderson. I first found Alan Grant before I found Judge Dredd, because he and John worked for DC for a time in the mid to late 80s. And Alan was a mainstay on Batman. And he actually came up with the character Anarchy. And it was one of the first Batman stories that I was cognizant of, because it came out in 89 when I, discovered Batman with everybody else in this country. And it was the first multi-part Batman story that I read, that I actually went into the local comic book shop and picked up issues of. And he created Anarchy. He helped create the ventriloquist for Batman. And
Mr. Zaz too. I think.
Mr. Zaz. Yeah. I mean,
and also he created Lobo, right? Or did he just write Lobo?
He definitely worked on Lobo. I don't know if he has a creator credit on Lobo.
Actually, I know he was associated with it somehow. Me not being too well versed in Lobo.
Yeah, he wrote according to Wikipedia, he wrote issues 0 through 64 for DC. He worked on Batman: Shadow of the Bat, which was a series I read. He worked on Batman versus Dredd, Judgment on Gotham, completely fitting. It's like I said, an absolute titan of 2000 AD. And I think Michael Carroll posted the dedication that he gave for Alan Grant in his novel, Judge Fear's Big Day Out. And I think it sums it up best. The dedication reads, he's not quite Judge Dredd's father, but he's definitely the sort of very cool uncle who goes on awesome adventures and rides a big motorbike, and all the other grown-ups insist he's a bad influence, but they're actually just jealous.
Ah, yeah, that hits home because that's the guy I want to be. I never want to be a dad. I want to be like the cool guy down the street. So I definitely, that's something to aspire to. That's something I've aspired to in life. Can't even imagine aspiring to be that for Judge Dredd. But
Well, my daughter finds you to be a very cool uncle.
yeah, and we are hair twins,
Well, I mean, you and my daughter are definitely not me.
Yeah.
So Alan's passing is definitely going to be felt forever, like losing Carlos. And, we've championed Tom Frame on this podcast. Most people don't really pay much attention to the letterer, but Tom Frame was integral to my Dredd experience growing up because he was the letterer on every story I read.
Yeah.
And it had a very unique look to it. And I think Annie Parkhouse has done a great job keeping that feel when she letters. So,
Well, and it's weird too because like it becomes, especially in 2000 AD. I think more so than any other comic company. Other than like if you're reading Spawn or something, McFarlane's always there. But 2000 AD kind of has like a cast of regulars. They have people that they leave, but they're never fully out of the circle. And then they have people that are just there forever. And so, like, and I'm sure Batman fans, keep up with who's writing Batman, but it's kind of like with that, it's like, who the fuck knows at any given time. But there are certain names, that you always associate with 2000 AD and with Dredd. And it's kind of cool how, everybody kind of has their own like characters that they handle at some point. And I know Alan Grant worked on Lawless, which is something that we dig.
Yeah, I absolutely love Lawless. Strawn Eve Dog. Like he was very integral in the SD universe. He helmed Judge Anderson in the Side Division stories. So
when Carlos died, I remember I was working inpatient at that point. And it was strange because I woke up and read the news, and it like hit me in a real different way than I thought. I'm not really much of a crier, just not. That's not the normal place that I go to kind of express my emotions and stuff, but I did, and I think I messaged you about it.
Yeah.
Found myself sitting in the bathroom at work, just kind of crying for a few minutes, and it's in a selfish way, maybe, it was like this thing that was connected to, like, it's the same way I look at bands that I like and have listened to since I was a kid, Kiss being one of them. It's like, oh man, like with someone like this gone, like my world is now different because they've always been a part of it. Never met Carlos. I even said before, wouldn't even have maybe put him in my like favorite artists. And I understand he's like an iconic artist, but it was just like a weird thing where I was like, oh man, Carlos was always there. He's always part of it. And I can't, when I think of 2000 AD in general, there are certain names that I think of, and Alan Grant certainly was one. And man, it's like the stability of knowing people, feeling like people, feel at least knowing them through the little title card at the beginning. And so like you really do end up missing people that you've never met. It's really, really strange and interesting,
It's very when you lose a constant, it's very rattling. And like, how many Alan Grant stories have we read, either individually or on this podcast? It's just like he was always part that was always there, and you were always looking forward to the next thing, like the next story that Carlos was going to draw, or the next story that we're going to read by Alan Grant. And you take it for granted that it's always going to be there. Like there's always going to be a next one, but there's not always going to be a next one. And Yeah, it's a huge loss to the community,
Yeah.
and he will be missed.
Yeah, man. And I don't I'm sure he had no idea that our podcast exists to this day, or was a thing. But he's certainly in the foundations of this terrible, sloppily put together 2000 AD podcast. So yeah, man. Everybody's affected. All the 2000 AD fans and friends that I've met online are all feeling it today too. So and the only way we know how to do it is to continue on yelling about comics and going about the idiocy that is to Cursed Earth Radio. So this one is for him. I'm sure if he heard it, he would ask us not to, but we're gonna go ahead.
I was gonna say now we've been our actual humans. We don't do that often on the podcast. I feel the need to switch gears and become the idiots everyone knows and tolerates.
Time to say wiener. Yeah.
Well, do you know what dumb holiday it is today in this country that you and I inhabit?
Yeah, man, I am very, very acutely aware. And in a weird way, my worlds converged today with this. For those, not to go all legitimate, like literal Mega City One on everybody over there in the UK. I'm pretty sure this is just a US thing, but today is actually National Wiener Day. Or is it World Wiener Day? I don't know.
I think it's just National Hot Dog Day. I don't think so. Yes, it is our high holy day. It's Wiener Day. Wiener Day, Wiener Day, Wiener Day.
And as in a really strange way, my worlds converged today because somebody sent me
a wiener.
Well, no, before I knew it was World Wiener Day, somebody sent me a picture of a Kramer Beretta, which is the company, the guitar that I play, and the company that works with my band, who were very excited. Of course, we conned them into that. But it was a Kramer Beretta that Kramer posted today that just had hotties all over it. And I was like, why? Why would they do this? And then I was like, why don't I own that?
That's your signature edition right there.
Yeah, one of one. And I was just like, man, this is like everything I love. Not wiener. I'm talking about.
You definitely do love a good wiener.
God damn it! Yeah, I backed into that wiener. Everything. It's like the guitar brand that I love, and Cursed Earth Radio. The wiener verse.
Speaking of which, this is our first episode as the new podcast, Wiener One.
Wiener One, yeah. Your favorite.
For those of you who haven't read this month's magazine, go buy it. We are in it. It is our last hurrah in the saddle, unless 30 years from now, Jake decides to pull that card again. If you ever wondered what we look like, we are in the magazine, our big dumb faces. Jake and Jim managed to capture the complexity of our personalities in one panel where I am shouting and my esteemed co-host is just thinking about all his life choices that have led him to here.
Yeah, man, I went out like I imagined, I hope I would, which was just kind of like, all right, man, here we go.
Fucking whatever, dude.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, we talked about it last time the magazine dropped, and I don't know, man. Like, I don't even know how to express how cool it is and how absurd it is that somehow we wienered our way into that one. But like, I don't know, man. God. We started, we. Just based on chatting about our favorite thing in the Prog and a long time, Proteus Vex, met those guys, and they've been like real bros, real wiener bros.
I don't think they actually are wiener bros. There's a whole list of things that has to happen for that to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're there.
It's like just the fact that anybody cares enough about the fandom, like to do that for us, man. Like, I don't even know how to properly express my
I
gratitude.
think it's some either kind of cosmic debt that they're paying off, or it's community service, and they had to do it anyway.
Yeah, man. But
Seriously, like I remember when Jake sent us the image of the helmets with our call
yeah,
signs on them, and I lost my mind there. Like, holy shit, how did this happen? And then there was but wait, there's more. And Jake sent us the preliminaries of our dumb faces, and I still can't believe it. And my wife can attest to this. She was in the living room with me when I opened up the magazine last night, and I'm looking, and then I see it. Not only are our faces in it, but Jake had my helmet says "Fly the Friendly Skies," and HMK's helmet says "Wiener One," and I cackled like a cartoon witch. Just, I mean,
oh,
where do you go from there?
oh man, I'll tell you what. It was cool when I saw Wiener One on my helmet, because I went, oh wow, like somehow that makes sense in Mega City One. We accidentally make sense in Mega City One. The absurdity. I was telling somebody today about the Church of Sympology, and how absurd it is, and how it's about like managing the cruel, dark existential angst by just being a complete idiot. And I was like, you know what?
We did it.
I feel like in that Judge Dredd universe, I would say that you and I, after our shifts are over, we definitely attend the Church of Sympology. And
We might be high priests.
Mac is asking how Maitland smells. She smells like Hershey to me.
You know, I guess I can't say what I want to say, because I don't want to spoil the story for any of our listeners who haven't read it yet. So I'll talk about that next week.
I want to say too, we did get to hang out with the hottest of the judges. I mean, in the Justice Department, there's not a lot of hotness going around, but we got to hang out with the Mia Khalifa of Mega City One. Yeah.
How, just imagine in the wake of Chaos Day, how low the standards are for the Justice Department for these two idiots to be flying an H-Wagon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
They could have got Chimsky. They could have put a helmet on him. That would have been a much better idea. But no, Mom's two special boys. It must have been take your son to work day.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, are you saying like your theory is that we are illegitimate children of Maitland, that we're grown because we're clearly way older than Maitland, both of us?
I'm just saying that we're just idiots, and that's the only way we would have been allowed to get near an H-Wagon.
Yeah.
Take your relation to workday, and here we are. We're lucky our helmets are on the right way, and we should probably be wearing them the whole time, even when we're not in the H-Wagon.
You're flying it, man. I'm just shopping for records on Mega
pondering City. Life decisions.
Yeah, I was shopping for records on my little vid screen while you were doing that. Yeah.
I think I'm playing asteroids. If you look at the screen, I'm definitely not on the job. Oh my God. So there's that. And Mac was kind enough to hip us to the new Hiya Toys pre-order that you can do.
Wait. I didn't get hit. I didn't see this. So
I sent you that picture.
You know what? I missed it, man.
No, you didn't. You laughed at it.
That fake.
The Judge Dredd H-Wagon dick pilot dicks. You can get us as a 2-pack.
I didn't realize that. No. I just thought did. So wait, did you create this or no?
No, Mac did that and put it on our Facebook page. And because since you never checked the Facebook page.
No, I totally saw it when you sent it to me, but I just assumed since you're the graphic designer, you did this one. But no, that's amazing.
Thank you, Mac. We'll take 2 packs.
Yeah. Pilot dicks.
And now he gets it.
Hey, and so first and foremost, we'll say real super quick, as it is every week, but really, 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 Dylan Teague album cover. Dylan Teague cover this week was awesome, but the real hotness is the fact that if there's one thing that's going to guarantee that I'm going to read Droid Life.
He did. Oh my God.
Yeah, man. We don't have Proteus Vex back in the Prog yet, but we have Proteus Vex in the Prog thanks to Kat Sullivan, who, I mean, I'm biased, but this is my favorite meta droid life. This is cool, man. I loved it.
Chelsea actually tagged us today on her Instagram story and had a shot of this. And then I responded and said, of course, I always read Droid Life. The other one, I can't guarantee. We'll see if we. So there you go, Chelsea. He read Droid Life for the first time.
Well, not for the first time now. I read Droid Life just enough to keep you on your toes. But it's seeing these Proteus Keks. I think I know what I'm getting you for Christmas this year, man. I think I know. I've already gotten you one pair of underwear, so I just got to follow up now.
I need to frame those. I still have them out, but I need to frame them that way when people come into my house.
Yeah,
who aren't you, because you're the only one that knows what the hell those are. I just want them to look at me and go, why do you have tidy whities in a frame?
I feel like we need to once again post a photo of those up on the social media, because
should I be wearing them?
If you want to go all out, I say yeah. Yeah, man. That I personally think that may be the greatest Judge Dredd themed prop of all time.
I could cosplay as that guy from that story, and no one would know what the hell even at a con like Lawgiver. I don't think anybody would know what the fuck I was doing.
I don't know, man. I think you might be underestimating the power of just some of the people that hang out in the Cursed Earth Radio circle with us know so much that, like, I think they get it. I think they get it. And someone was asking which magazine we popped up in. It was 446 and 445. So this month,
the June and July issues of the Meg.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that we both have to whatever point in time our obituaries are written.
That's the photo.
Somewhere near the top. Yours might have to say like loving father, but I don't have any kids, so mine's going to be like, yeah, motherfucker, here's the magazine issue, and then he did a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Oh man, we are the only canonical Judge Dredd podcast for kids.
You know what? I'm not sure, man. I feel like in John Burtis's time, I know he's been in the Prog. I just don't know if he's been podcasting in the Prog. But I know he's an OG from way back, and he's been in Prog. But
why couldn't you just go with it? Just yes and.
Oh, because I'm all about having our facts checked.
Shut up. Whatever. Just shut up.
What'd you think of the new Special Relationships Part 3?
Waters are getting murky. Waters are getting very murky. Our mustachioed Brit Sit judge was actually trying to do the right thing, even though they were doing the wrong thing by taking the island hostage. And he's about to get a knife between the ribs here from our recently arrived Justice Department fellows.
Yeah, I like that guy.
Or is that, no, that's Riker in a Brit-Sit helmet.
Yeah, right there. It's William Riker looking to have sex with any space alien he comes across. I hope this mustachioed, hard-nosed, badass judge sticks around. I like this guy. I'll tell you who I don't like, though, is this fucking dude that kills the guy's dog, man. What's
that guy seems to be a dick, and it seems to have some metaphysical powers because he comes out of that chair like the Undertaker.
Yeah, man, he does kind of just like fucking Nosferatu his way out, doesn't he?
He does. So that was I had to look at that panel a couple of times, like what the fuck just happened? Are we okay? All right. This is going to get messy because we've already got one Mega City 1 judge down because of a trigger happy Brit-Sit judge, but that judge wouldn't have been shot had the Brit-Sit judges not tried to take over the island by hostile means. So
yeah, man, they're just overreacting quite a bit here.
Yeah, and you know what Joe's going to do when he gets there, right?
He's just going to nuke him and kick him in the nuts.
It's like, yeah, that's how all this always gets resolved.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. It's like it's just like real politics, though. Nobody trusts anybody. Everybody's fucking shady. Even with your allies, you've got spies and all this. Like I don't even know. It's in Mega City 1 in the grim apocalyptic future that we're hurling towards, it's even worse.
Yeah, because the Brit-Sit chief judge thinks that Logan is trying to downplay the security of the mechanismos, even though they got hacked during the Atlantis attack. And she thought he was trying to bury that information. And now everything's kind of unsewn because the Atlantis project was a joint project between the two cities. And now we got ice betwixt the two, even though neither was at fault for what happened in Atlantis.
Yeah.
That was all Red Queen.
Somebody's got to take the blame. Somebody's going to put the blame somewhere.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to have a bunch of unfortunate casualties. And I hope this Nosferatu dude that killed the dog gets it too. Like it is.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's got to fucking, he's got to get his at some point. I don't know why, but I'm like, I mean, we also have this whole like, who's in with the fucking East Meg? Where's East Meg? Is this East Meg?
Yeah, well, situation? I mean, you get hints of that if you read the story that our dumbasses appear in the magazine.
Well, he even says here, I think he mentions something about it too. It's like, what's the angle on that? They're always fucking behind it. They got a fucking axe to grind.
Oh,
forever.
Yeah. So it's gonna get real tense, and I'd almost guarantee that we're gonna have some more unfortunate casualties on both sides because we've already got who I assume is Joe with the boot knife getting ready to slip it into Riker here. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have 1 for 1, and then there's a firefight that almost assuredly will break out in the next chapter.
I want Joe and Super Mustachio Brit-Sit guy to have a fist fight. I don't want any weapons. Maybe day sticks, but I want to see a fist fight between those two, and then I want them to unite, take down whatever the threat is, and then everything's harmonious, and they're two badass Dredd-ish guys on their own side. I don't want this guy to die. I want him to be in Brit-Sit forever. I just want to know that Brit-Sit's safe, and I feel like he's the judge to handle it.
Well, Judge Joe's already going to have some issues with him because he's going to see that mustache, and that's not how we roll in Mega City 1. We don't have mustaches, and Riker's got a full goatee, so Joe's going to be, piss and vinegar already when he gets on deck.
Yeah, Joe sent a man off to his own death, basically, for having a mustache.
For having a dumb mustache. Yeah. And you know who wrote that? That was Alan Grant.
Yeah, man. So I don't know, man. Mustache forever linked with Alan Grant.
Joe must mustache you a question.
Oh God,
I don't feel good about that.
We're gonna have casualties in Brink here pretty soon. But last week when we were having our little chat, I worked myself up, man. I left our chat and now going full in. I'm fucking convinced, man. That Nolan's girl is alive.
Really?
She's okay. Yep. I worked myself up last week. At the very end of our podcast last week, we were chatting and I kind of went towards like, wait a minute, what if? And now I'm fully what if. So let me just reiterate. I'm making my prediction now. His girl's fine. This whole thing is going to result in some sort of, collusion with all these forces. They're going to cover it up, and she's going to come back, and Nolan's going to be worked up into this fucking lunatic frenzy. Oh my God, there's all this shit. There's all this corruption, and all these things are linked, and it goes so deep, but there's not going to be any trace of it. Even if he stops it, I'm not saying it may end up being stopped, but people involved are going to die. He's going to be left alive, insane, and claiming all of these things, which will be the truth, but there will be no proof of it. And it's going to look like he dug too deep, went off his fucking rocker, lost it. And it's like, oh yeah, the satellite was just down. I couldn't get through, all this stuff. I think this thing's going to end up, we were convinced for a while Nolan was going to be dead by the end of this. I don't think so. I think he's going to be a fall guy. He's going to be, sort of scapegoated into looking like he went nuts. He dug too deep. He got too far into these crazy conspiracy theories. And then it's going to be like, we know, the reader, that all this shit is bubbling under the surface of Brink. But I think that's my prediction.
Okay, I can kind of see it going that way. But now we've got Evan Ledden showing up at the end of this. having a chat with Nolan, kind of quote unquote chilling Nolan shit.
Yeah.
But Nolan's editor knows about all this at the newspaper. And so if they pull this off, they're going to have to silence a lot of people that know the truth. So
there's this thing that like sort of like kept, stuck with me, which was, when they went down to the bowels of the ship and he was kind of saying like, that whole awesome thing of like, yeah, man, if you listen, like people start hearing voices and then they start making things out, and they start interpreting, but it's just the noise of the ship and there isn't really anything down here. But there's this whole idea of just like how many layers of corruption are there and how intertwined are they? And is, with Brink being, to exist, how many of these pillars are kind of like tied into one another, and if one falls they all fall and everything comes apart. And maybe I'm over here with my tinfoil hat turning into Nolan, I don't know. But yeah, I just keep feeling like, man, it's going to unravel and it's going to be like so many things are linked, so many people are not who we thought they were. I don't know, I'm interested to see. Brink keeps me guessing and keeps me interested always.
And we've been doing it for 20 chapters.
Yeah.
Man, is that the longest that we've ever had a story run?
Yeah, man, I don't know. With this, you got to dedicate a lot to, when you think about like, look at Brink every week and just how much text and how much dialogue and how really like convoluted it could possibly get to tell this story. And somehow I'm able to follow along, which that says a lot, man, because sometimes I forget what I read from week to week, but this one kind of brings me back in. So it's like, when we were reading something like Kingmaker, it was a fairly simple story, but half the time I was like, I don't know what the fuck's happening. Somehow though, Brink accomplishes what would seem impossible. And I'm always like, oh yeah, I know where we're at. And again, man, I've said it a million times, it's because fucking Dan Abnett is God level writer for me in 2000 AD and beyond.
Yeah, man. And like I've said a million times in the podcast, Brink is not something that you would figure that our podcast would be into. Same thing with The Out. But man, did it grab us. And I am full invested in this story. It doesn't feel like we've been doing it for 20 weeks.
Yeah, Brink grabs me in the same place that True Detective season 1 and only season 1 grabbed me. And the chat has already answered your question. Hate Box was 20 episodes.
Was it? It didn't feel like it.
Yeah. I always want more Brink, man. I wish Brink would just fucking Prince Valiant it. Just keep going forever. That's what I want.
Dumb haircuts.
Yeah. They're full dumb haircuts and meatloaf faces. Ugly fucking people.
No good looking people. Maybe that's part of being on the brink, is that the environment just makes it look like that way.
Yeah. That brings us to Skip Tracer Valhalla. I didn't find anything this week, man. I didn't find anything in Valhalla that was for me this week. I did read
zombies. Zombies. I just, once again, it's a character that we don't have a whole lot of tether to. Even with it wrapping up, we're both kind of like, okay, it's wrapping up.
Yeah, I every week I'm like, all right, man, like what's the challenges like? And I know, like you said, if you're listening for our coverage of that, you're at the wrong place. But I do always approach it and go like, all right, man, like how can we at least give a summary and like a little something for people that want to know about Skip Tracer, want to know what's going on in Skip Tracer. But yeah, I find myself having trouble even staying connected to the story. So I just have to give random assessments based on what I see, like I do with the Order. And I'm not going to do that to Skip Tracer this week. But there are a couple of little kids flying on what looks like a space fist. And that at the end, there's some zombies. That's what I got.
Yeah. I mean, I remember the ship because that's from, I think, the first Skip Tracer story that we read.
Mhm.
But yeah, other than that, I got no tether, no touch, no nothing, nothing touching me on this one.
Yep. And that carries right on over
I was gonna
to,
say, speaking of which,
yeah, man, I didn't read Dexter this week. I don't read Dexter any week. Forgive me.
yeah, I mean, it's still Peaky Blinders. I got, yep, nothing. I, I don't, man. And we've tried with Sinister Dexter. I mean, the only thing we can say confidently is now we know who's Sinister and who's Dexter.
Yeah, man, got it down. I know who
Hmm.
Sinister is. I know who Dexter is. So yeah, we're
Love
there.
Bullet Time. That was amazing.
Bullet Time's amazing. But that's the weirdness, man, because like we get out of Brink, fucking Dan Abnett is God. Dan Abnett remains a god. But this specific religion, the Dexter religion, is not one for me. He's writing both my man, you might as well say he's writing my favorite and least favorite story in this week's Prog.
Oh, look at
So
what Dead World versus The Order.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah, man, it's fucking, the pinnacle and the pit for me. So Dan
Well, you didn't
Abnett
like
rules.
Ghost.
Oh my god. Yeah, I forgot about that. So yeah, it's not nothing to do with the fucking creative team. It's just the story's not for me. So Dan Abnett gets a pass always. He's amazing. And so was Yeager. Yeager was amazing this week.
Man, I forgot how much I love Simon Colby's art, but man,
Mhm.
it's so engaging. I don't know where the hell we're going. But I can't wait to get there just because I'm so engaged in the art.
Yeah, yeah, and I also and maybe it's just because I like a certain color palette, but I also felt like I needed to shout out Lynn O'Grady for doing some great colors, because that final like 2 pages has
Oh, where the swamp Norts come out.
yeah, man, that's the color scheme that grabs me. I'm like a child. I like nice bright colors. That's why Necropolis has always been my favorite kind of color palette visually. Like we always call it the Easter egg palette, but I also like these like really really brightly colored. It kind of harkens to some of the stuff that they did with Rufus Dayglow and Bad Company, and those sort of color schemes. I like that stuff. I also like the character designs here, even if in this universe the struggle has always been, how do you tell people apart, because they're faceless, nameless soldiers essentially.
Yeah,
But cool design, cool helmet, or cool mask goes a long fucking way for me.
it sure does, man. I mean, in general.
Yeah. This is like, it's like Vietnam uh in space, and I like it.
I mean, I could feel like the heat coming off of the swamp there, and just due to the color palette, you can smell that, you can feel that.
Yeah, man, and we don't go anywhere else and see if you can find anything that is like a war comic, like the old school war comic, like your fucking Sergeant Rock and all that stuff, the Unknown Soldier, which by the way, the revamp of the Unknown Soldier was really fucking cool, and I want to say it was Garth Ennis, but if you don't have that, and it's a thing that to me feels incredibly British. It feels incredibly important to have like something that has that vibe in 2080, even if it probably, other than being a sci-fi universe, would be more of like an action sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm always like, my dream is that we get a weekly action or a weekly shock. I know we won't, but yeah, that's been kind of my dream for a while, because I love stuff like that, and I love this. But yeah, I think this is really really fitting, something cool to have at the end of the Prog, and hopefully people who are reading 2080 for the first time, this would be a good one to pick up, even if I don't like two of the stories, because there's a lot of different stuff going on.
A lot of different flavors. So I keep when I download the Prog straight to my tablet, but I also download to my laptop. So in the event of, the website at some point crashing, going offline, what have you, I have backups of them so I can transfer them back to my tablet. The sheer amount of progs that we have covered is staggering.
Yeah.
And because I was going through everything and it all kind of loads in bit by bit, and I was just making sure I had everything downloaded. Man, we have been at this since 2019, but we have done an asinine amount of progs. It's crazy. 155 progs we've done.
It does not feel like it. And man, we got to get that archive up. It's just at some point, and I think it's, now that we're doing the YouTube thing and starting to get a little bit more of an audience and people are starting to realize that we exist again. YouTube's the perfect place to archive stuff because you don't have to pay, based on how much stuff you've uploaded. And that was always the struggle before, posting something up on Podomatic, as convenient as Podomatic was, it's costly, because you're essentially, we're paying for Zoom and we're paying for Podomatic. And so it's just costly. And then you get to the point where it's like, oh, you've had 20 episodes, you've got to delete them now. And that's frustrating. I know it doesn't upload to Spotify, and I wish we could figure out a nice solution for that. But at this point, we're going to probably thrive being a YouTube show. And if anybody wants any sort of archive, that's where it's going to happen. It's just finding at this point, a week when I can sit down and start uploading stuff.
Not that anybody needs to go back and listen to those first episodes. Nobody needs that.
No, I mean, it's a different vibe though. It may be interesting for people who want to hear us at our worst. I don't even know how you get worse than this, but
dude, man, go back and listen to those early episodes.
Yeah, we were trying. We figured it out. We've got the perfect amount of production quality, high quality episodes.
And I was looking through those progs, downloading everything, and you can see all the covers. It's just all the memories. Like, oh my god, I remember that story. I remember this story. And then I saw the that bit where we got Hookjaw and Shocko back inexplicably, and I was like, oh, that was such a fun run, because the Hookjaw is just nonsense, but it's nonsense I love.
Yeah, man, I love it too. Man, like I said, I really want to get some more fucking Shock. I want to get some more of the 2000 AD like extra shit. I want to start covering more of that stuff. So hopefully we'll do that. People are clamoring for us to bring back Hershey, the infamous episode.
That is a landmark Curse Earth Radio episode.
Yeah, that's the one, man. So yeah, maybe if nothing else, we can try to find a way to at least upload the greatest hits. I miss the days when we did our ads too, man. So we got to do those too.
I do and I don't.
pick on Johnny every week. I liked it. It was good.
Oh my god, I was looking at some stuff last night. Actually, that the magazine from this month has that Hookjaw story that we got last year. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And I was my wife likes Jaw, so I was trying to explain Hookjaw to her, and all I could do was, okay, imagine Jaw's the bigger and it's possessed and it's got a hook stuck in its jaw. And she's just looking at me, and I'm like, trust me, that makes more sense than you think it does. And it's pretty on the nose.
Yeah. And the real context for the original Hookjaw too is it has to be like this. Imagine you're a little kid and your mom won't let you go see Jaws, but you want to see Jaws. So Hookjaw is there. He's got your back. You can slip this kids comic in and your mom won't even know until they put a kid beating the shit out of a police officer on the front, and then your mom will know, and then you get taken away from you. And then somehow, and it's to this day, I'm like, what a poor substitute. Not to talk shit on our man Shocko, but it's like, really, man, polar bear versus shark, it's no contest. It's like chainsaw versus knife. It's not the same. They tried, and I'm glad Shaco and Hookjaw finally exist in the same universe. But
That whole time was just batshit. Like when we did the Four Horsemen Judge Dredd story, and we joke one episode about, oh, I hope Shaco shows up, and then the next episode, zombie Shaco, and
yeah,
like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's a good time, man.
Oh man, the best of times.
The best of times. It's always the best of times to be reading 2000 AD in the current age, man. I'm telling you, stuff in the progs today. You got your hits and your misses, but stuff that they're putting in the progs almost on a weekly basis to me is still rivaling old stuff. We don't have the tether to the old stuff that a lot of people do, but man, I'll put almost any Dredd story up against some of those old ones, man. Because
Purgatory.
Yeah, Purgatory.
No, Purgatory is a good one. The Inferno is the one that's all screwed up.
I don't fondly remember either. Yeah, Inferno. Grant Morrison ruined. I love Grant Morrison. Hate.
I mean,
Grant
you got
Morrison
the Pit. Is
on
amazing.
Yeah, man. But I mean, like, I'm talking like your Control, your Small House.
Oh God, yeah.
That stuff. Like,
Trifecta. Trifecta is still amazing. We still need to talk about Mega City Undercover at some point, because I remembered. Oh yeah, I bought 3 of the 4 volumes. I need to finish that.
Yeah, man. I need to start. So yeah, I guess one more time, rest in peace, Alan Grant, and
thanks for everything.
Yeah. And I guess we'll see everybody next week, right? Well, that's it. There's nothing left to say.
Except
nothing left to do. There's not even a catchphrase, or not on this special day. I think we've covered it all.
No.
No.
Wiener 1 out.